previously, in the slave anime, Yuuki was getting popular as time goes on, and after an attack from a humanoid Shuki, Yuuki caught the attention of Tenka, commander of the 6th Squadron. Tenka asked Kyouka for permission to have a relationship with Yuuki because Yuuki is her slave, and she told Tenka that she has no control over Yuuki's personal life. So Tenka started to get around Yuuki to make him her boyfriend, and Yuuki couldn't do anything while a beauty like Tenka was trying to get him. But that just made Kyouka jealous enough to confess that she didn't like Yuuki getting all lovey-dovey with Tenka, so she ordered Yuuki to keep his distance from her. But the long-forgotten problem that Yuuki and his squadron had forgotten that they met a humanoid Shuki that resembled Yuuki's sister is going to come out in this episode. So as the story continues, their days were going as normal with all the Shuki hunting. Yuuki and Kyouka kept cleaning the area together and Yuuki did a pretty good job of assisting Kyouka. Yuuki was getting better with the time, and he was getting the thought of getting powerful enough to save Kyouka, but just as he transformed back, he took Kyouka in his arms for a princess carry. This time, the princess carry came out of Yuuki's fetish list, and as a master, Kyouka had to fulfill that desire with that reward of a job well done. But back at their dorm, Tenka kept coming over to spoil Yuuki. They were all impressed by Yuuki's improvement, so he tells everyone that he learned combat from his big sister. That reminds everyone that Yuuki told them he had a cool big sis, so Tenka asked how is she. That takes them back in time when Yuuki once had trouble with a kid and he brought out his older brother. Aoba came in and subdued that moron, and Yuuki did the same as he learned just by watching her. Aoba was happy that Yuuki was taking after her, and she always treated him to treat afterwards. Until she disappeared in a Mato mishap. She sounded like a great sis to everyone, but sadly no one other than Tsuruga had siblings. But after their talk, Tenka returns to her dorm and Yuuki goes to have a bath. Just there, Nae senses that someone is chased by Shukis. So Himari and Tsuruga go out to rescue that person who got tangled into a Mato mishap, but it was all a trap from the beginning. She was another humanoid Shuki and punched Himari out. But Himari saved herself in the nick of time with a shield, so Koko summoned another batch of Shuki. But Himari asked for time out to relay that their supreme commander wants to negotiate with humanoid Shuki, but Koko didn't believe on their talk, and elsewhere. Yuuki was admiring how he got a built-up body from all the fight and training, and just then, Kyouka and Nae walked in. Kyouka told Yuuki to transform because they had a problem on their side. So, despite being naked, Yuuki transforms into a monster to rush towards Himari and Tsuruga. They were having a hard time just with Koko, and a unique spider attacks Tsuruga, and from it, another humanoid named Yuno comes out to help Koko in battle, and on their way, Aoba stops Yuuki and Kyouka. Yuuki tried to dodge her attack, but Aoba orders Yuuki to stop. Somehow her order worked on Yuuki and she got him. Kyouka tried to save Yuuki but she vanished into thin air. After that, Koko and Yuno also fled, making it clear that their target was Yuuki all along, and after a while, Yuuki woke up in a random place while Koko was licking all of his wounds, which was a heck of a time. Because Koko has healing properties on her saliva that heals wounds, but right there, Aoba walked in and she thought Koko was assaulting her little brother, so while she was punishing Koko, Yuno tells Aoba that Yuuki had scars all over his body, so Koko just healed him up. That calmed her down and she promised to make it up to Koko for this, and then, the long-lost siblings were reunited after several years, but Yuuki was wondering why Aoba looks like this, but she reminds Yuuki that he's not wearing anything. So she gave him some spare clothes and to answer him, she took him out of the hut to show him the place. It was a hidden village in Mato where there were no peach trees. So the Demon Defense Force never came sniffing around at this part of Mato world. There he saw other ladies just like them, and Aoba tells Yuuki there are about 20 people living in here. All former humans like them, but these girls are different than normal Shuki. They are like half of both monster and humans. Regardless, an accident caused this, but they luckily retained their soul as a human. But anyway, Aoba was looking forward to living here together with Yuuki so that he would be freed from being a slave of the girls. But Yuuki still thinks they are humans and wants them to negotiate with the Demon Defense Force. Yuuki believes they would protect them. But just hearing about them made all three girls extremely hostile. They don't believe in Demon Defense Force in the least, and Himari and Tsuruga were worried for Yuuki. Nae tried out everything but she never picked up anything. So she contacted other Demon Defense Force to help out to widen the search area, and after Yuuki was lost, Kyouka never came out of her room, which made them more worried about Yuuki. Kyouka was ticked off that Yuuki obeyed orders from someone else, but she sensed Yuuki's transformed back to normal. So she told the girls to get ready because her body is acting on her own to reward Yuuki so they can detect where Yuuki is, but it looked like Yuuki was in serious trouble. But Aoba and others came back and calmed down, because she was just happy that Yuuki was here, and more so that he has become even more handsome as he has grown up. But the two barely agreed with Aoba's sentiment. She clearly has a brother complex, but Yuki's tummy started growling, and hearing that Aoba goes off to bring out some food for him. And Yuuki thanked Yuno and Coco for staying by Aoba's side, but they told him not to, because everyone here loves Aoba, but Yuuki noticed Coco was eating a mushroom. It grows all over the village. And just as Yuuki smelled it, he just got hypnotized by its smell. Yuno thought Yuuki was admiring how beautiful she is. But Yuuki started to hallucinate and tried to eat both Coco and Yuno thinking they are meat, so Aoba brought him back to his senses and took him to a nearby waterfall to have a chat. That felt like a dream. He saw Aoba was holding a Matto peach and Aoba told him that this peaches were the cause for them to look like this, and at the 7th Squadron dorms. The 6th Squadron came over to join hands to search for Yuuki and to bring him back home. But that's where episode 9 ends, but if you haven't seen the last 8 episodes, then check out the playlist section named Chain Soldier on my channel. Please catch up to enjoy the upcoming episode of the anime, and subscribe the channel to watch upcoming episodes. Until then, take care.